Hey guys, I'm Si and welcome to A.C.E Podcast Nation. This is our wrestling series, Keepin It Real with Andrew Thompson. You can find all the previous episodes and all our shows in video format at youtube.com/Ace Podcast Nation, or the audio versions at all the usual podcast and radio apps. We drop numerous podcasts per week, video or audio, as well as several exclusive interviews with MMA fighters. Exclusive. Those guys ain't speaking to nobody but me. In the build up to the Cage Warriors Trilogy event, and had some great interviews with some of the top UK talent, and I cannot wait for that 3-day show. It is going to be unbelievable. But in the meantime, let's talk some Graps, some pro wrestling. Always a fun time as we spend the next 45 minutes or so rounding up the wrestling news and TV as quick as we can, getting as much as we can into under an hour. It is my pleasure to introduce my guest, my co-host, my friend, post-wrestling writer and interviewer, YouTuber extraordinaire, some of the best wrestling interviews on the whole damn internet. It is none other than Mr. Andrew Thompson. What is up, my friend?
The science guy. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's Friday night in the UK. It is dark outside. I'm fresh off a live football podcast with the legend that is Andy Campbell. I'm feeling talkative and feeling fun. So we will start the week's episode by asking the news roundup king, what is in the news roundup this week on Post Wrestling?
Man, firstly, the big news: Melina coming back to WWE per PW Insider. Very big story, and they said that she is supposed to be back on television within the coming week. Where's Bianca Belair? But you know what?
Can't let that go. TV. What is going on with this company?
Send her back to NXT, man.
How do you call up? How do you have someone like Bianca Belair on your roster, and you can't find shit to do with her on TV? I do not get it whatsoever. Especially when Becky Lynch is away, Charlotte's away. Why would you not have slotted her up the top of that card on Raw and make her a star? It makes no sense to me, Andrew. I don't understand what's wrong with these people.
Email WWE headquarters and let them know, bro.
But it's stupid. Like, they could have slotted her in when Becky and Charlotte went on their, individual breaks. They could have had Bianca Belair. They could have built her up as a superstar on Raw. And when they came back, you could have done a Charlotte match, which would have been massive. You could have done an Oscar match.
And let Bianca get her win back for Charlotte tapping her out in NXT.
Absolutely, mate. You could have done Oscar versus Bianca feud. You could have done Bianca versus Mickie James. You could have done Bianca versus Natalya. There's so many feuds there on Raw, let alone, if when they do this draft and you open up the rosters like a Bayley versus Bianca Belair feud. Oh my. Like, her being the one to take that title off Bayley if they split her and Sasha up could have been a hell of a story. They could have, I don't know, this just frustrates me, man. What else is in the roundup this week?
What's his name? Mike Rotunda spoke about his release from WWE when he was on the 2-man Power Trip of Wrestling podcast, and it was some interesting stuff in there. Of course, he ain't really seemed like he was too upset. Like, he's 60-something years old. He sounded like he just wanted to go home and be with his wife. He said him and his wife been married for 36 years, and he said, Jeez. Like, only 3 of those years he wasn't on the road.
Jeez.
Like, so
That's a lot of pressure on a relationship.
Yeah.
You know? But then they might not get on now because like he'll be home all the time.
Yeah, he's on.
But
Yeah, he talked about Bo Dallas. That's his son.
he hasn't worked for like 2 years.
Yeah, he was just saying like he hoped WWE found something for him to do, like because he's very talented.
Yeah, he is super talented, man. I think him having a really dark character. But do you know what? You know his Believe character. Don't you think it's perfect for the Firefly Funhouse? Bro, even just to be some sort of character on that.
The Believe thing could actually work. I just don't really think they didn't really put any legs under it. Like it could have went somewhere.
They don't know what they're doing, do they?
It worked in NXT.
You need to just give it layers, man. Like I just think if you put him on the Funhouse as Bray's brother and like have it as Bray has like rescued him from the wilderness or whatever, and you have him as like the Believe character on the Funhouse, and then just build him up in the mid card, being really aggressive and dark in the ring. You don't have to put a mask on him and stuff. Just have his hair like over his face and just make him really aggressive and nasty and brutal, and have like two sides to his personality. When he's not wrestling or fighting, he's like smiling and happy, and there's so much potential there. They just don't seem to want to give these characters, not just Bo, but all their characters, they don't want to seem to give them layers and intricacies to their motives. It's all very one-dimensional, and I don't really understand that because they've got some really talented people on their rosters, and guys, like I saw someone talking about Eddie Kingston's promo ability and how good he is. He's the best promo in wrestling, blah blah, and he is right up there. He's one of the best, and I think it was a basketball player or a baseball player, I don't know, but he commented on AEW on the promo ability of some of the guys on there, and he said like the WWE guys don't know how to cut a promo. I paraphrase it. Now, to me,
you're talking about Michael Thompson.
It could be. I'm not.
That's who it was. He played for the Los Angeles Lakers back in the day.
Okay, so like for me, it's not that the guys in the WWE cannot cut promos. What the problem is that they have to script it. Like they've got some really talented promo guys in WWE, but they overproduce everything.
Samoa Joe, Bray Wyatt.
Samoa Joe was one of the best promos in the world. Even in the WWE, he somehow managed to make their scripts sound good.
I hate to admit it, but Randy Orton is one.
Yeah,
for sure.
Bray Wyatt, yeah. Seth Rollins, good promo when he's not overproduced.
Seth Rollins been doing some real good stuff lately. You got
MVP,
Adam Cole, MVP. Man, it's a bunch of people, man, that cut really solid promos in WWE.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you, how do you like the new layout, the overlays exclusively for the Keepin It Real series, nice and bright with the green and the blue.
It looks sharp, logo. Man. I see you going the head back. You look like a 1980s like lead singer in like a pop band or some shit like that.
I'll take that.
Like your name's Curtis.
I'm not sure about that. I saw Ryback blocked a load of people on social media, a load of journalists.
I know Ryback.
Yeah, were you blocked? Are you blocked by Ryback?
I don't care to check.
Are you blocked by any wrestlers?
No, I don't think so.
Do you know why that is? Because you're a nice guy.
I don't even think I'm not one of those, like, I don't like tag wrestlers and tweets, and like I don't really, like tweet about them that much.
Gossip.
Like I post my news updates, but you can't call me out on my news update because everything in there accurate. So
it's factual, isn't it?
Yeah, it ain't enough for you to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried getting blocked by Hulk Hogan. I called him a racist, but he ain't blocked me. So.
You didn't see it. There were so many people calling him a racist that he's just like there was just too many notifications for him. But yeah, it's a different one. Ronda Rousey hinting that she might be up for a coming back. I saw.
Shit, I bet you WWE they about
Desperate
to turn.
for her to
They
come back.
no, if they do, they gonna turn that women division gonna turn up. Especially that Evolution 2 pop up real quick.
Yeah, I bet. But you know, again, if they built Bianca Belair up, and she was the Raw Women's Champion after beating Asuka after a long feud now, so like she just won the feud at Payback, yeah, like she'd.
Oh,
if she had just won the title off Asuka now at Payback, and then Ronda Rousey comes back for WrestleMania season, Bianca Belair is your young long-term champion. She's beating everyone. That feud is money, and they've just completely, like, I don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be adverse to an Asuka versus Ronda Rousey match either.
I definitely want Bianca to get used more. I want them to just send her back to NXT, honestly, because I remember I was watching this interview she did. And she started like getting emotional when she was talking about how bad she wanted to win the NXT Women's title. She felt like every time she almost got close, like the wings kind of got pulled from underneath her. Not like in a bad way, like criticizing the booking, but just saying like she got there so many times just for it like not to happen, and it kind of like irritated her. And you could tell she got emotional about it. She was like, regardless of whether she go on Raw, SmackDown, or wherever, like she always want to win the NXT Women's title. So I feel like that's a nice story with that. But I was about to ask you. So did you see when Rey Mysterio's daughter like kind of rubbed Buddy Murphy his shoulder? You saw that on Raw?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, not even about that, but I was going to ask you. I mean, obviously Seth Rollins going to have to take paternity. Is it paternity or maternity leave for men?
Paternity. Yeah.
Paternity, like when Seth Rollins takes paternity leave, he obviously going to have to do it like in a couple months. But like when he leaves, do you think they should have Buddy Murphy get the victory over him, or would you have somebody else hit them?
I think.
But it got to be Buddy Murphy, right? Like it got to be.
I think they should be Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
If it was me, I would. So you know that the bouncer from Raw Underground who's like 7 foot or something.
Yeah, Jordan,
like the massive guy. I'd have Buddy Murphy like destroy Seth Rollins, like injure him, and you know, like what Bailey did to Sasha, like Pillmanize him to get him off TV. But I'd have that 7 foot guy be his new bodyguard. I'd have him be his Diesel, and just make him just an asshole. And because I think Buddy Murphy makes for a real good heel. But you
definitely think he should be the one to like.
Yeah, I think so.
Send Seth Rollins off. Yeah.
There's no one else really, which kind of
it don't make no sense for nobody else to send Seth Rollins off than Buddy Murphy.
Unless he starts another feud now, which makes no sense because he's still kind of loosely
like just imagine if what would be the point of all of this if Buddy Murphy not gonna be the one that's gonna beat Seth Rollins?
Like, I think it's gotta be, isn't it?
There's no point. And I wonder, like, because you mentioned, you go ahead. I was going to mention something else, but you go ahead.
I was just going to say he's got to be the one who has enough of Seth Rollins' shtick, and then just gets, just loses his patience. However, I don't want Buddy Murphy to be a babyface because I think the potential for him as a heel with, like, that guy as his bodyguard, like I said, I think that could be exceptional. That could give me like Shawn Michaels vibes with Diesel. Who was the other guy? Not Ziggler. There was someone before Ziggler had Big E as his bodyguard. There was another guy, Brian Kendrick with Ezekiel Jackson. That was a good one. Who else? Who else has had a good bodyguard over the years? I'm gonna have to come back to you on that. But what were you gonna say?
I was going to ask you, did you hear Shane McMahon on the After the Bill podcast?
No, I haven't watched the WWE podcast really.
No,
unless there's something which really like takes my eye.
No, it was a good interview, and I was just like, just from hearing the stuff that Shane was talking about, I think he probably gonna be the one that's gonna take up WWE after Vince McMahon. Like just hearing, because like he was like before he got into wrestling, like Vince made him do like everything. Like he had to do like editing. Vince made him do ring crew. Vince made him do refereeing. Vince made him do everything.
Yeah. So he knew every.
Not he made him do all that before he got into corporate. Like Shane couldn't even get into corporate until he did everything. Like he had to do refereeing, stage crew, ring crew, producing, editing. Like
I like that though.
And then once Shane, like Shane put it basically like once Vince saw that, then he bumped him up to corporate, and then Shane had to learn everything about corporate and go through every position in corporate. And like just hearing that, it just made me think like, you know what I mean? Because like I'm pretty sure he wouldn't like make him do that for no reason. You know.
But then I
like,
just think that I'd be amazed if Stephanie and Triple H don't end up running the creative.
Yeah.
Like I think Stephanie and Shane maybe as a joint thing will run the corporate side.
Yeah. Right.
But then I think Triple H has shown enough that he can do the creative, be in charge of creative.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his finger on the pulse in terms of what people want in 2020.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Triple H, he is good creative. He is very good at that.
And I think if you let him be at the head of it and then build his own teams, I do think that is potential to be maybe a saving grace for the WWE. You know, like how many times have I said, or we've said, that it's time for Vince to go and let someone younger take over, and it's doing damage to their product. And I wonder, like I've asked this question to numerous people over the years, like yourself, to Sean Rossap, to Alex McCarthy, like when do the shareholders say, right, come on, we're a bit worried about this, is it time for you to kind of step down? Is there ever a point where they can oust him? And I think because of the way it works in America and with business and companies,
I don't even think it's because of that, bro. I think it's like WWE, they made record profits this year, bro. Like,
well, yeah,
like they were in a pandemic and made record profits.
Yeah, but it was clear from that thing, wasn't it? The last corporate call they had, that there's some twitchy people there now. Like they're asking questions about creative for the first time.
Yeah.
And I think AEW breaking 1 million a couple of times the last couple of weeks, as Raw's plummeting. Like if they both keep going in that same direction, you ain't gonna have to wait long before WWE starts thinking, right, we can't have this, because I don't think they cannot afford to have AEW and Raw like coinciding in the ratings.
Yeah,
like, I just don't. I think that's a real bad thing for them.
That's real bad.
And I mentioned a potential Oscar and Ronda Rousey match. Like I think that would be really entertaining. And
you say who?
Ronda and Oscar.
Oh, I thought you said Oscar. I was like
Oscar.
I was like, who the
But like I think that'd be a good feud for WrestleMania season, and I think it would be snug. Speaking of snug, segues us nicely to Thunder Rosa versus Ivelise on AEW TV this week. That was interesting, and it was most definitely snug. Tell me a bit about that, mate.
I think it was Sean who reported that Sean Rosa reported first put out the story. I mean, you could see it on TV, but I think he kind of added more clarity to it, the situation. But it's videos out there, like anybody could go look it up. Like, you know, they clearly was like, you know, they was putting the hands into each other and the feet to each other and kneeing, and you know, I mean, but
no sold some stuff, I think, didn't she? And but they don't upped the ante a bit.
I mean, but they don't like each other. So I mean, I'm surprised AEW put them in the ring together, knowing that they don't like each other. So, and they never had.
It was weird, wasn't it?
So yeah,
I was gonna say it was like a historic thing, and then they're in the ring again next week, which maybe that adds to the ratings because everyone knows they don't like each other. Everyone knows they were a bit snug.
You wanna know what's funny? It reminds me of like the story myth between Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss. Like people swear up and down that they don't like each other. I've never seen Sasha nor Alexa ever comment on this. And I'm surprised nobody's asked them that in the interview. Like,
I've never seen them comment on it, and do you know, I've never seen like something in the ring. No, one of them no cells.
Oh no, nothing like that. But it's happened before. Like I remember one time when it was on a Raw, and Alexa Bliss had she stepped on Sasha Banks' stomach. No, it was Sasha who stepped on Alexa Bliss's stomach, holding up the championship, and Alexa immediately pushed her the hell away. It was funny, but
okay,
it was something like that.
Yeah,
but I've never heard them speaking about that.
No, and I've never seen a tweet or just something which would kind of hint at it. You know, I was just having a quick look on Twitter to see if I could see any videos or gifs of the Thunda Rosa.
Go to Gift Skull's Twitter. GIFSKULL.
Gift Skull. I'll have a little search through that now.
Go to his media.
But were you a little bit surprised? Were you that they put them in together?
No, because I'm pretty sure they probably thought they were just going to have a good match. But
professionals.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. Isn't it? What have you thought of AEW's storytelling and TV of recent weeks? Been impressed with it?
I mean, it's been a good show. I've been tuned into it. I mean, honestly, but I've been more interested in independent shows, for real. I like watching NXT, AEW, Raw, SmackDown, but they barely pique my interest. I'm more into the independent stuff that's going on. I find GCW and all these promotions that's I just find their stuff so much more interesting.
Just don't have the time to watch everything, because every time I've watched GCW, I've always really enjoyed it, and everyone speaks really highly of it, the stuff that I haven't seen, but I just don't have the time, man, to watch everything which I want to watch.
Are you gonna watch the collective shows that they doing? Basically it's the shows that was supposed to happen WrestleMania weekend. They doing them next month, basically.
Okay,
that's cool. What it is. Cool. Yeah.
So the other thing I was going to ask you, just while I'm looking for these gifts and stuff, is what did you make of the street fight on AEW this week? Did you enjoy that?
It's amazing.
Is it the best street fight you've ever seen?
I wouldn't say the best. It's definitely up there, though.
Have you ever seen a real life street fight which is better than that?
A real life?
Have you ever seen a real life street fight?
Yeah, of course.
I see them on Facebook all the time. It's usually a racist getting slapped. I enjoy those. They're my favourite videos to watch. Is racist people losing their shit in shops, and then someone takes them down or slaps the taste out of their mouth. Or my other favourites is bullies who go and pick on someone, and then the big friend comes from nowhere and just puts them in their place.
Have you seen that video of the dude in the T-Mobile store when he ain't got no neck?
Yeah, I think I have. It's just, but do you know the ones which really just completely off topic and off wrestling? The ones which really, really, really pissed me off is the ones where these people have got they live in apartment complexes, and I've seen a few of them recently. So it'll be you have a shared pool. So it's an apartment complex. You don't get them really in the UK because it's too fucking cold to have outside pools. And I saw one yesterday, and it was a black guy and his son, and they were just in the pool where they'd helped their friend move, and they were in this apartment complex, and this guy's just teaching his son to swim. And this stupid old woman comes out, and she's like, "Oh, why are you in the pool? Where do you live? Show me prove where you live. Prove where you live. Why are you in this pool?" And she's just being horrible and just aggressive and abusive. And he's like, "I just helped my friend move." He's so calm and he's so polite, and he's just "I just helped my friend move. He's going to be down in a minute. He's just in the restroom. I'm just teaching my son." And he's telling his son, sometimes you're going to come up against people who are ignorant. Just ignore it. Stay calm. You show me how you swim. And I was just that's how you deal with ignorance in a respectful way, and that's how you teach your son that people are assholes. But the only thing I just wish there was more people slapping them. That woman just deserved. I just didn't. I don't understand it, bro.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
No, look, another woman slapping her.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Like, I know all about that. But, like, it just annoys me, though, because, like, it wasn't like this person was, like, up in the pool. She'd never seen him before, and he was drinking and smoking, and he had his friends over, and they were partying really loud, so they were, like, disturbing people. And then you could legitimately ask, do you live here or whatever? But, like, this guy was just teaching his son to swim, and it was just like, come on. Where's the humanity and the compassion and just the downright just decency? I don't understand it, mate. Humans are assholes. Right. Here we go. I'm going to put this up on screen. We won't be able to play it for too long because get copyrighted by those motherfuckers at YouTube. They love that shit. Got my swearing mouth on today. Right. It's gonna be snug. Jeez. Good match though. Are you surprised why Ivelise hasn't kind of like picked up, like she hasn't been in WWE or like picked up like a long-term contract and stuff,
Yeah, I mean, you see why?
Oh, it's like we should do a watch-along one day. I just realised it's a shame though you can't do a watch-along like this where you can actually watch it on the screen.
You definitely get copyrighted.
Definitely gonna go. Oh, look at that straight. That was snug. She wasn't supposed to go over there. Look at them. They do not like each other at all, though. But fair play to them. They don't like each other. Some of the striking is snug. She protected her neck.
Yeah, she protected her on that tombstone. She's not sorry because she could have dropped her on her damn head if she wanted to.
That's what they would have done in the 80s, bro. Drop that motherfucker on his head. That's what they would have done. I ain't lying. That's what they do. These bad men. But anyway, let's get back on track. It was a very, very good street fight in the main event of AEW. And I noticed that straight away, like the next day, WWE announced that Jey Uso or Jimmy? Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns is now a street fight. Do you think that's a coincidence? Do you think they were planning that anyway?
It's weird that they announced. I mean, we have no way of knowing whether that was planned or not. But I mean, SmackDown adds to the but SmackDown is live, so I mean, they could have announced that days ago. But I mean, we like if they mimic how how it was done on AEW Dynamite, then that's definitely a sign that they just reactionary. But that main event on Dynamite, that shit was great. Like
man.
And then Sue flipping off the bird at the end. That was good. That was amazing.
She's been doing some media interviews this week. I saw Sean had Sue on Fightful, which was quite interesting. And also, I tell you, you said about GCW and you're enjoying those independent shows. I am really looking forward to the Bloodsport show.
That's a part of that, the collective.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, all that. It's the Bloodsport, for the culture.
That's the other one I want to watch. Yeah, for the culture.
Effie show, Bloodsport, like you mentioned. It's a bunch of other shows, but it's basically every show that was supposed to happen on Mania weekend.
So can you buy? I wish you could buy them as like a package.
You can.
Can you on Fight? Yeah.
On Fight. You can buy it as a whole package on Fight. Yeah, you can.
And what's it called? The Collective.
It's called the Collective.
Yeah, I might have a little look at that.
You could buy it on Fight.
A couple of those shows I'd really like to watch. So, have you watched NXT this week? Anything what stood out for you on NXT this week?
Yeah, I actually watched it earlier today. And the one thing that kind of stood out. I really like the Finn Balor stuff that they did, the stuff that they've been doing with Finn Balor. Like they're not making him like this cheesy heel. Yeah. Like he's like kind of like only reason I'm here because they're paying me and they want me here, so I'm here. And I just so happen to win a championship while I'm here, so you're welcome.
Yeah.
And then another thing I'm really liking Damian Priest. Like I feel like he's doing like I always think it's cool like when a wrestler like puts all the pieces together.
I feel like he's done that now, isn't he? Or he's in the process of doing
Right,
it.
he has, but he got the entrance, the moveset, the gear,
Everything.
like he got it all set, bro.
But you know, like when he left Ring of Honor and like he went to WWE, if they said like in the gap between him leaving Ring of Honor and then starting in NXT, if someone had told you that his gimmick was basically going to be like a playboy, you'd have been like, what the fuck?
I know, right? But he was like that whole
well, he
was like that whole dark ring thing he was doing Ring of Honor. He was like that was never him. Like he said, the character he's doing now is like more just him.
Yeah,
like
and I think that's easier then, isn't it? When something is more natural to play.
You can relay that in real life. It's way easier to be yourself and free to be yourself than to be somebody else.
Yeah, for sure. So the bundle for the collective on GCW, the collective, 139 quid. Ooh. Jesus. I know this. You get a lot of stuff for that.
That's a grip, buddy.
It looks like you get 8 shows all together. But the thing is, like, I'm going to buy Bloodsport. I'm going to buy the Shimmer show probably, and I buy For the Culture. So the other guy I wanted to ask you about was Aleister Black. What are they doing with Aleister Black, do you think?
Calling it week by week.
Yeah, making it up as they go along. So he's lost the bandage from his head.
Right, like I legitimately thought Aleister Black could have been like a US or Intercontinental champion, like off the break. Nah, I don't see it at all.
Should have been. Did you know though? I think if he came up from NXT now, I think they'd put the title like an Intercontinental title or a US title on him from the like. So you know, like when Riddle had that title shot against AJ on his debut, or he beat AJ in his debut, I could see them putting Aleister Black in that slot and having him actually go on and win it the next week. But it's just too little, too late now. I
was gonna ask you, so I wanted your thoughts on this, and you mentioned Aleister Black. So Ricochet had hopped on Twitter, and you know I guess he saw I forgot who put that story or tweet out there that he was looking to leave WWE in January.
Okay.
Allegedly his contract is expiring in January, and Ricochet just came on Twitter and like deaded anything having to do with I don't think he said anything about his contract. I don't think he refuted that, but I think he refuted the part about him wanting to leave. And like so some people were saying like he kind of doesn't know how good he is, but other people was just like, I mean, you can't tell him what to do type thing.
The thing is with Ricochet, right, is he has wanted to be in the WWE specifically since he was a little kid. Like exactly. I don't like he's like a proper wrestling like fanatic, like but not just wrestling, like a WWF, WWE fanatic.
Yeah.
And I think in his head that if he went back to the Indies or to AEW, it's like a step back.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he feels this is like the culmination of years of hard work. This is what I wanted to do. This is like when I was growing up, I wanted to be a WWE superstar, and that's what I am. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think that's accurate, actually.
And I think, like, he's young enough that, like, yes, they're not using him as they should now, but there's so much, like, everyone's in such a rush sometimes to, like, do stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, they should be using Ricochet better. He should be way up the card. He should be treated with more respect. He should be in meaningful stories, etc., etc. Of course he should. He's one of the most talented wrestlers on the planet. He can do things nobody else can do outside of maybe Will Ospreay. But, like, this time next year, he could be world champ. He could be, if they did things right. You know, now, will they do things right? Probably not. But he could be. Like, it doesn't take a long time to do something with someone of that ilk and that talent. I think sometimes maybe people are in a rush, like, oh, he's not being pushed, let's, get out of there. It's like sometimes you've got to find your place or find the right gimmick or turn heel, turn face, like whatever it may be. For instance, I think Cedric Alexander turning heel might be the turning point for him, because I think MVP is going to really help bring him along on the mic. I think he'll.
Matter of fact, since we right here, let me ask you this. Let me put you on the spot. You got MVP. You got Thunda Rosa. Who is your pro wrestling MVP right now between those two? Because I think Thunda Rosa has had a hell of a year. She had a match of the year candidate in January. NWA Women's Champion, made her way to AEW. Been on TV for like 5 weeks straight. Then you got MVP, who came to WWE, and this man done elevated like 5 different people without even having to wrestle that much.
So, if you're talking like in ring, then it's not even close. Thunda Rosa has been amazing. But if you're talking about keeping me interested at all times and being just all round entertaining, then I'd probably go with MVP. Like, when they signed MVP, I could not have cared less. Like, I liked him. His feud with Matt Hardy is one of my all-time favourite feuds. But I didn't really care about him signing with the WWE. I was like, oh, okay, he's a good hand.
You want to know it's crazy? Like, not to interrupt you right there, but you want to know it's crazy? Like just how you mentioned, I think it was a lot of people that kind of felt like that. Like, people were happy for him, of course, but like, like comparing that to the reaction to the news that came out when he said he was negotiating a long-term deal. Like, everybody was like, thank God. Like,
yeah. Because not only is he being super entertaining, but he's made Bobby Lashley entertaining again. And Bobby Lashley hasn't been entertaining since he was with Leo Rush. You've got Cedric Alexander has turned heel and looks like they're finally going to do right by him. And then you've got Shelton Benjamin, who's on TV again.
And he's feuding with Apollo.
Yeah. And it's like, come on, like, who else has done that? Like, am I a little bit disappointed that they didn't turn Ricochet? Yeah, I am, because I feel like a heel Ricochet not saying anything, with just being a smug asshat with MVP as his mouthpiece, I think that could have been money and a main event gimmick. But I'm interested where they go with it, because I like Cedric Alexander versus Ricochet in a heated feud. And it's a big if, they put the effort into it and into the storytelling of it, could be like the match to culminate it all could be absolutely out of this world. Like, that could be something special. And I would love to see them have, if they get some fans in at Survivor Series, even if it's like a small amount, I would love to see like a Cedric Alexander versus Ricochet match on like the upper mid card of Survivor Series. Give them like 15 minutes to just go out there and bang. Like, I would love to see that, but I don't think they will, because I think it'll be the Hurt Business versus Retribution. What did you think of that angle to end Raw?
I think it was great. That's the way you're supposed to make the Hurt Business look. I mean, I kind of feel I know people was like how could you do that? They're supposed to be heels. I mean, who said they weren't heels? They are heels. They just not scared of Retribution. Like,
I want all my characters. Like, I hate this thing that heels have to be friends with heels and faces have to be friends with faces. That's not the way the world works. Like, personalities clash. Sometimes someone rubs you up the wrong way. Doesn't matter if they're a good guy or a bad guy. Like, I've known people who were, over the years, in my 39 years of life, some people who would be perceived by others to be bad guys, and they're some of the soundest people I've ever met. I also know some people who would be perceived as being great people who are absolute scumbags. But like, people are not as simple and black and white as good and bad and the occasional tweener. So I hate this thing that all the heels have to get along and all the faces have to get along. My only issue with it was when there was so many, like when Retribution outnumbered them so much, I felt like Retribution should have got the upper hand just because of the numbers. Like, I felt like the Hurt Business should have put up like a really good fight, and then just the numbers like overran them. That was my only sort of quibble with it. Are we getting Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre, do you think?
Like, what the hell was up with that stipulation? Like, if Randy Orton can make Clash of Champions, then Keith Lee gets the time. I'm like, what the hell's going on? But man, you know damn well they ain't gonna go all the way. I only get amped up about it. They ain't gonna go all the way. Because I mean, like,
Did you like Keith Lee though, mate? Did you like him?
But I mean, yeah, they do. But like, come on now, like they do this all the time, bro. Like, I don't trust it for them to go all the way with Keith Lee. I mean, I would
Keith Lee being crowned at WrestleMania as champion with like in front of fans. I don't think that's a moment up there with Kofi and.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like what they doing right now, like in terms of putting him in the title match at Clash of Champions and then going all the way with it. Like,
I think they're gonna. I think what they'll do is I think they'll put him in some multi-man title matches where he'll lose but not take the pin, and then I think eventually he will either win the big one at WrestleMania, which I think would be an incredible moment.
Give me Keith Lee versus Big E at Survivor Series.
That'd be good. But who would win? They battle to an hour draw.
Give me the fuck finish.
Kofi Kingston comes back and screws Big E with the lead pipe.
Oh, hey. We ain't doing that, man. We ain't doing that.
It's better than the shit I read on Twitter today, where that WrestleVotes account said that they were thinking about putting them on separate brands, but both keeping the New Day music, and then having Xavier Woods just be a manager for both of them on both brands. Like, what the fuck at this point is the point in the brand split? I hate the fact that they just bastardize it. I really just have a brand split. Like,
there's no such thing.
I hate it. Because they've got so many good wrestlers. Just like keep the brands separate. Don't bother with this Survivor Series shit, and just do separate brands and push people. Make new stars. It's not difficult. But going back to my Keith Lee point, I think they'll put him into multi-man matches to make him seem like a big deal. Have him keep winning. He won't take the pin or the loss in the multi-man matches, and then they will either do a massive angle, particularly if they've got fans. I think they might do a big angle with him beating whoever's the champion, maybe Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and like have a big moment of that. Or they might have him lose a couple of multi-man matches and then win like the Intercontinental title or something from like Shelton Benjamin or someone like that. But I do think he will have a title before the end of the wrestling year, so like WrestleMania. Yeah,
I feel it.
I said it. How do you feel about the Adam Page storyline and the Kenny Omega stuff?
I mean, I'm interested to see how it's gonna play out. Like, I mean, I think Page is a single star waiting to happen. Like, it just
absolutely.
I feel like he kind of lost his steam a little bit.
Yeah, so it's weird. So the build up to what was it, All Out? I was like, I can't wait for this. I cannot wait for this match. The match is going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see which way they go, because there was so many different possible ways. Who's going to turn? Are we going to see the Cleaner? Are we going to see Adam Page like join FTR? It was so many different things, and then they kind of didn't do any of the turns really, other than Kenny Omega kind of turning on him a little bit after the match, but he didn't really turn. They just teased it, and then on the TV, then straight after, they did this thing where they both did separate interviews, and Kenny Omega said, "I want to be a single star," and he basically said, "I'm going to be the Cleaner," and Adam Page did another interview and he said, "I'm going to be, I'd like to work our way back up the tag division," and I was like, okay, that's interesting that they kind of saying different things. And then this week, I don't know, something it killed it for me. Like, they portrayed Adam as like this millennial cowboy. I hate that terminology, but that's something I saw on Twitter. But like, he was just like this sad, like, I don't know. It just they lost something for it. Like, now I'm ready for the feud to start. I'm ready to see the cleaner. I'm ready to see Adam Page fulfill his potential.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Kenny Omega ain't been the same since he left New Japan. I'm keeping a buck with you. Like, he ain't been the same.
Do you think that's why they're turning the Young Bucks as well, to try and recreate the Elite? And
you can't recreate, bro. They are executives of a wrestling company. Like, I don't really think they even have time to focus on their own in-ring work. Like that, like when they were like basically running the wrestling business for a minute. All they had to focus on was pro wrestling, but now they got to worry about everybody else and all the other business stuff. Like, I
think Kenny's the one who suffered the most from that. I think
100%, 100%.
Where he's trying to get this women's division up and running.
Bro, he need to let that go, bro.
I think so as well, because he's taken so much criticism, which I would imagine he's
his prime years, bro. My bad. Am I cutting out?
Yeah. No. Yeah, he's like one of the best wrestlers in the planet. Like, and he's like not doing what he should be. Like, I want to see Kenny Omega become the cleaner and have this top run in AEW and show the world on like this national TV stage what me and you and like other wrestling fans who watch New Japan have seen previously for like the last few years. I want the world to see that. I want the world to see that Kenny Omega. It's time. It's time to have him turn on Adam Page. And do you know what I would do? Is this week on Dynamite, I would have, so who would you get? Brandon Cutler or someone, who could it be? Cody maybe? Who else is in the Elite? Who's in there? Who did he speak to?
But the Elite is just...
Yeah, but this is what I would do. So I'd maybe even have like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, or have the Young Bucks come out and have them call out Adam Page, say, look, we're really sorry, things have happened, blah blah blah. We'd really like to just be, friends. Let's just go our separate ways. Let's make up, like blah blah blah. Have them call Kenny out and have them kind of hug, apologize, and then when Adam Page turns his back, I would do the same angle. You know the angle they did on AJ when they kicked him out of the Bullet Club and Kenny Omega took over? I'd basically do that, but have the three of them attack him from behind, do like a load of moves or whatever they, like the triple moves they do, take him out completely, and the feud begins with the heel Elite, the OG Elite 3 versus Adam Page, and just get it going. Cleaner Kenny Omega. I think they've got to change Kenny Omega's music. Do New Japan own the cleaner music?
Yeah, they own that, bro.
Such a shame, because that music is so good for the cleaner.
Bro, it was so fitting. It was so fitting. But I'm telling you, but he need to let that Booker of the women's division role go.
Yeah, I think it's taking its toll on him, isn't it?
Bro, it is, bro. I'm telling you, dog. He need to let that go. Like he is wasting his years, bro. I'm telling you, he's wasting his years. Like by the time, dog, he need to let it go.
But I think the criticism of the division has also made it difficult for him. Do you see what I mean? So like, what can I explain? So like, it's hard enough to try and run the women's division, produce the matches, work everything out, the storylines, and do it all for the AEW and AEW Dark like he's doing. But because it's taken so much criticism, the women's division, I feel like he's taken that. So. I think he's taken that personally.
Yeah, I would too.
So then what's happened then is he's like putting more into it, and it's taken away from his TV character a lot. And I think they're lucky that Adam Page got so over that they didn't really have to do anything with it, like with them as a group or a couple. so it makes it very easy for them to do. But now, where they're looking to push him as a single star, they have to do something with him. So he needs to be focused on that, because him and Adam Page could have absolute bangers. But if it's Kenny Omega that's been in AEW, they're just going to be like, meh. Whereas if it's Kenny Omega from New Japan versus Adam Page from AEW, it could be amazing.
That, bro. Do you remember in 2018, like after Kenny won the IWGP Heavyweight title, dog, when he was in the G1 that year, I cannot explain how many people were just willing to stay up just to see his singles match that night. Whether it was with Naito or Ishii, and granted, I'm not, trust me, I'm not saying that's the only reason why people tuned in. Like every match was,
but it wasn't. Like that's why I got so into it in New Japan, was because of him and the Bucks.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. But like, it's like he's just not this is not the Kenny Omega that everybody expected to see. Like bro, like I swear when they first announced AEW. And they like started forming it, and we was leading up to Double or Nothing. I was like, oh, Kenny Omega, that's the dude right there. Like that's the that's the clean cut option. Like why wouldn't you put the world title? That's your guy. And then I mean they didn't make a bad choice with Jericho. I think that was the perfect decision coming out the gate.
Yeah, that was the right decision.
That's a well known name, but I mean like further down the line, I thought Kenny was eventually going, like.
Well, I think everyone did, didn't they? That everyone has just assumed that eventually we would see Kenny Omega rise to the top, and maybe the executive guys, they just didn't want to push themselves to be the champions.
The champions,
because they've been criticised. But I think.
Do you think the Bucks should have been won the titles already?
Yeah, I thought they should have won the tournament. To start with, but.
What I do like, the party win was a good surprise. I like that, but
it was cool. But like I think I discussed this with you before, didn't I? I said like it was a cool moment, but I don't think it's done anything for Private Party in the long term, and it's hurt the Young Bucks.
You want to know what's funny? Private Party said on the AEW podcast they was like they felt like they haven't peaked anything in AEW other than when they beat the Young Bucks. Like they felt like they haven't done anything close to that.
And that's what I mean. Like it hurt the Young Bucks and didn't cement Private Party as like one of the top teams. They're a good team.
Honestly, I felt like if Private Party beat the Bucks, they should have just won the whole damn tournament.
Yeah, I agree. And then you've set them up as like the top team, haven't you?
And then you do the rematch.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do feel now with this heel run with the Bucks and Kenny Omega. What you can do is you can basically say, screw everyone who criticises us for having the titles on us because they can just play heels all the time. And I think, like, I think the Young Bucks are great as heels, as those smug, just embracing all the things that people criticise them for, like being spot monkeys and all these different things that they get thrown at them. I like that when they're heels, they just embrace it and they just dial it up. And I think so here's the thing. AEW have given me a lot of reasons to think that they will do it, like we could be in for something special and they'll pull it off. However, the way Kenny Omega's been since he's been in AEW makes me concerned that for him, they're not going to be able to recreate that same magic that he had in New Japan. Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Let me ask you this: hindsight in 2020, do you think Hangman should have turned on Kenny at Revolution when he did the fake buckshot lariat?
Yeah.
Do you think he should have did it?
I think the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega should have turned on. Well, when they did that tease where they all looked like they were going to turn on each other. There was like that photo or that one shot where you had the three of them stood in the ring, and
that was that Revolution.
Yeah, and he was on the apron, and either one of them could have turned. I feel like they should have done it then.
The crowd was hot too, bruh.
Yeah, they should have done it so that he went for the buckshot lariat. They super kicked him and a triple super kick, and I think that would have been perfect. And they'd have left it there. No one quite knows who the heel and the face is, and you could have just gone with like when they come out on the Wednesday. Then just go with whoever's being booed or cheered.
So do you think do you think the blood and guts thing is like just off the table now? Because like the elite split up kind of. So I think that's kind of.
Yeah, but I think they can redo it, can't they, with different teams eventually?
Yeah,
like, you could just do it with the elite, like the three of them versus Hangman, Cody, and whoever.
I think the Inner Circle is finished, bro. That group is tired. They're done. And then, but Sammy Guevara, bro, he's having a horrible 2020. Horrible.
He is.
He said that dumbass stuff on the podcast that came out, and then he, you know, I don't think I've really seen anybody blame him for Matt Hardy's injury, but he's connected to it. So
yeah, it's just there, isn't it? And that following on from the chair shot as well.
Yeah.
It's just like a combination of it all, isn't it? The problem is, so like the Santana and Ortiz are a phenomenal tag team, so they'll be all right as long as they treat them right and they put them in a good feud. Jake Hager will stay loosely aligned with Jericho until maybe they turn on each other at some point, but I think they'll stay together.
Bro, you go ahead. I was going to add on to.
I was just going to say, what would you do with Sammy Guevara? Because I think it's an important period for him if they do split up the Inner Circle, because he could get lost in the shuffle real quick, and he's too talented for that.
I think he kind of put himself in the shuffle.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he did to a certain extent.
I mean, like if I was booking it, I'm keeping him off TV for a little bit, like, you know, because he just got too much bad voodoo around his name right now. So I think it's best that he stay off for a little bit. With Santana and Ortiz, for like, did that street fight last week? I don't really feel like they got hurt by losing at all. I feel like they came out of that strong, honestly. Like
I would not be against them aligning with Eddie Kingston and Pentagon and Phoenix, and them all turning on Butcher and Blade. Fuck them off. And then have them as a group. I think that could be quite hot.
Did you see AEW sign Will Hobbs, man? I was like, about damn time.
Yeah, he's good. I like him.
Put him in the main event storyline immediately.
Yeah, straight away. I was surprised by that.
But that's how you do it.
That's how you make stars. That's how you do stuff, isn't it? That's you introduced, and that's what I was saying to you last week about Retribution, where I saw some people saying, "Oh, you can't have the Evolve stars because no one knows who they are." But it's like, well, when they unmask those guys, whoever they are, doesn't matter if it's the Miz, it doesn't matter if it's someone from Evolve or Donovan. Well, they confirmed it, did they?
No, John Pollock, he confirmed it. It's Dajakovic, Mia Yim, Mercedes Martinez, Shane Thorne, and D.O. Madden.
And that's who's going to portray it, is it?
That's the prominent five. Like, but I'm pretty sure you've seen like it's like fucking 20 of them.
Yeah,
like,
I would assume that the other guys will be the Evolve guys.
Yeah.
And then they'll do something with it. But at the end of the day,
prominent five is those. Yeah.
If they book like Dominic Dijakovic in the main event to beat Drew Galloway, right now? Or they beat, if Dominic Dijakovic comes in and beats Keith Lee, or he beats Randy Orton, or he beats Drew or whoever, and comes in and wins, then he's a big deal. Whoever it is, if they come in and beat the top stars and they do not 50-50 them and they do not lose and they're in prominent storylines and feuds and they win, then they're big stars. If they come in and lose 2 weeks after coming in, then they're just another guy. Kurt Angle was a top star within 6 months because he came in and beat top guys and was portrayed as a top guy. It's how it's predetermined storytelling. They can book, especially in the current era where there's no fans in the stadiums, they can book who they want to be top stars. But the fact is, if you beat these guys constantly, every other week, whether it's a disqualification or not, if they keep losing, they're not viewed as top guys. It's just the way it is. They're just another guy. I don't understand it. It's just It's predetermined. You can make whoever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid old man. But all right, just to finish off this phenomenal podcast again. It just always cheers me up. You never answered my question. I don't even know if I asked it. I don't even know if I asked it actually. Aleister Black, Kevin Owens. I'm really looking forward to their match because I think they're both phenomenal workers. Is it time for Kevin Owens to become the old heel Kevin Owens again? The problem is they've got so many heels.
Yeah.
That there's no room for him. Babyface Kevin Owens does not do it for me. Unfortunately, even though he's a phenomenal person, wrestler, promo, everything.
I feel like Kevin Owens is just like a filler guy right now. Like they just sliding him in different positions, like just to fill time doing the show. I don't really think they have any like concrete plans for him right now.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because he's better than that.
It's just not his time, bro. Like I mean, that's just what it is in WWE. Like I've just learned to learn at it when it comes to
take turns.
It's just not your time. Like that's just what it is.
What's at this present time then? It's not Kevin Owens' time. What's Aleister Black's ceiling at the moment? Like what would you do with him now? If you wanted to do something with him?
Well, firstly, he got to beat Kevin Owens. If he ain't gonna beat
that's the first thing.
If he ain't gonna beat KO, then and then I think after that he should try to get himself a U.S. title shot. But honestly, I don't think anybody should be beating the Hurt Business right now. Like I don't think
has Apollo Crews got the US title or Lashley?
Yeah.
So you need to get off him. But then they're doing a draft next month. They're doing a draft next month, so you could easily add Aleister Black to that Intercontinental title feud, or that little triple threat where you've got Sami Zayn, AJ, and Jeff Hardy. Like one, I'm assuming, and you know what they say about assuming. But like I'm assuming AJ is going to go to Raw because Heyman's on SmackDown, and also because he said in one of his streams that he'd like to watch his son play football. Yeah, I think he plays football on a Friday.
He's been openly saying that for a long time.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised to see AJ back on Raw. I think he's certainly got the stroke to do that. So if you could easily slide like AJ out of that feud and put Aleister Black in, I think that'd be quite cool. I would not be against seeing Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens reunite, I have to say.
How long has it been?
Since they reunited?
Like 2 years, right?
Yeah, it got to be at least 2 years. I think it's time, because they are so entertaining together. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I think that's... Well, good idea. Good idea. WWE broke up another tag team this week. They're going for some sort of record. So Andrade and Garza are done.
Yeah.
It's like, what are they trying to do? Just break up a tag team every week or something?
I mean, I think the Garza and Andrade thing kind of ran its course anyway.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, at least Zelina Vega's getting added to the women's division now. Like, you got another person in there.
Yeah, but
she can wrestle too. So
yeah, she's okay, but she's not Bianca Belair, mate, or some of the other women who was not on.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's no disrespect to her. I just think that her strengths are more like what she was doing with Andrade, and Bianca Belair should be in that title picture. And the other thing which I would question is I do not think that Andrade's English, whilst it's improved, I don't think he's ready to do that opening Raw promo of like 10-minute promo. You know what I mean? That could kill him in the water. And he's so talented. Like, he's another one who should be right up, should have had like, he should have at least been in like a main event by now of a pay-per-view.
He was really good as NXT champion, but he had Zelina there for him, so he didn't.
And this is what I mean. I don't understand taking him away. Like, I just don't get it. It's disappointing. I would have been down to see when they first brought Garza up. I'd have loved to have seen like Umberto join with them. Humberto Calorio join them as a heel.
Horrible. Jesus Christ.
That was perfect pronunciation.
Yeah,
I don't know
let me
what
ask
you're on about, bro.
you, have you seen this stuff that they doing with Drake Maverick and Killian Dane?
Yeah, I've seen a little, but I haven't watched NXT this week. But I saw like last week where the first week Drake Maverick saved him. Oh no, Killian Dane saved him, didn't he?
No,
The Undisputed Era.
Drake saved him first.
And then Killian Dane like hit his finisher on him or whatever. And then the following week he saved him again, but he didn't hit the finisher. Is that right?
No, he knocked him out again.
Ah, right. Okay. So what did he do the third week?
They were supposed to have a tag team match against Undisputed Era, and Killian Dane basically told him go fuck off and go do the match by himself. And then William Regal came and approached Killian Dane when he was in the back, and he was like, "You're gonna be a little coward. You're gonna let your partner get beat up like that." So Killian Dane went out there, and then basically he threw Drake Maverick in the ring to continue getting beat up, and then he walked away. And then Bobby Fish called him fat. And then
Bobby.
And then he came back and then he beat the shit out of
his ass.
And then Drake Maverick got amped up and was like, "Hell yeah, you just saved me, we're partners," and he knocked him out again. So
I like that.
It's hilarious, bro.
Killian Dane is another one. Very talented
Do
dude.
you think they trying to do like a makeshift thing like they did with Riddle and Dunn?
Yeah, they could do. There's potential there because Drake Maverick is so talented and he's so funny, mate.
I'm telling you, bro. Like if this Dane and Maverick stuff had a crowd, they would be eating that stuff up, bro.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Tag title run in the future.
Yes, definitely. I think so. The NXT needs tag teams because they've for some reason that Legado del Fantasma, they seem to like beating them already. I don't know why, because I thought when they did the reveal and the thing, I thought good. That's like a good stable, which isn't Undisputed Era. Let's do that, and then they've kind of just beaten them, and it's very disappointing because I really like all guys and included in that. The very last thing I wanted to ask you about, we saw Adam Cole give the old too sweet to Finn Balor last week after their match. Do you think Finn Balor will? Do you think we'll see Adam Cole again before the draft?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Or do you think they keep him off TV?
Nah, keep him on TV, bro. Keep him on TV, bro. It's like no point. Like we bring him back on TV for what? Like and do what?
Yeah, unless he's got a few.
But that man has literally done everything in NXT. Like I think it's time. Like he been NXT North American champion. He been NXT champion. Like dude, and been in NXT. He had a great 3-year run in NXT. Like I
just been phenomenal, mate.
I mean, unless you're gonna keep him, I mean, Gargano kind of reinvented his character a little bit, so he kind of got fresh legs a little bit. I don't think I'm not interested in Ciampa in a bit whatsoever. But I think it's time for Adam Cole, man. It's time.
I think the only thing which is left to do with Adam Cole, and we touched on it briefly last week, was if they did do the Undisputed Era kind of breakup.
Yeah, did you see? Oh yeah, you didn't see. After you just mentioned you didn't see NXT this week. No. Kyle O'Reilly made the save, man. He Tommaso Ciampa feuding with Jake Atlas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly made the save, man, for Jake Atlas and fought off Tommaso Ciampa.
So it looks like they're going to give Kyle O'Reilly a bit of a singles push then. That's good.
Yeah. Like in Undisputed Era wasn't there. Like it was just him by himself.
Kyle O'Reilly's super popular as well.
Yeah, he is.
So I think that's a good move. My concern was that they would do the Undisputed Era split, and then Vince would call up Adam Cole, decide he's too small, and then put the Undisputed Era back with him like a week after doing some sort of angle. Like, I'd rather they keep Adam Cole off TV completely now.
Bro, especially because there's no crowd. Like, I feel like it would be different. Like, if he had a crowd and Adam Cole came, I feel like they'd go crazy. But, like, now...
Oh, man. Can you imagine, like, SmackDown with a full crowd and, like, live, and then Adam Cole's music hits? Like, the crowd would go nuts for that shit. But,
and then they already seen them before because we beat Daniel Bryan in the main event.
They still went nuts for it, though, didn't they? But do you think, where would you send Adam Cole then? Final question. Where would you put him in the draft?
Ooh. I feel. I mean, since Retribution gonna be on Raw, I feel like Adam Cole need to go to SmackDown. Like he need to get around some. I mean, he gonna end up doing the King Corbin.
Yeah, Jesus. Put King Corbin on Raw as well. But you know, I'd love to see SmackDown be full of like AJ and Adam Cole and Riddle and
go
all
back to the
these.
SmackDown 20. Do you remember SmackDown 2016, bro?
This is amazing, mate.
Hey, Si, let me ask you this real quick. How much would you pay to see Chad Gable and Jason Jordan get back?
I'd love to see it, but the problem is,
But we ain't heard nothing.
they'd come back, and then WWE would have them lose on their first night back, and then split them up as a tag team because they lost.
But
Because
we ain't heard.
they've got to break up a tag team every week.
We ain't heard nothing about Jason. I hope he's just probably keeping a secret. I mean, I know his neck injury was serious as hell, but I hope he's like keeping his, keeping it a secret. That's what I'm hoping out for.
Spinal and neck injuries, bro.
Yeah, that ain't nothing to play with.
Heavy shit, man. Speaking from experience. But yes, it is what it is. Hopefully, I'd love to see Jason Jordan come back because I felt like he was just coming into his. He was just finding himself.
He was just hitting his stride, bro. He was just
it's like that smarmy heel kind of dick. He was just finding his feet.
And he was gonna get the Kurt Angle match.
Yeah. Sucks, bro. Sucks the way things break down sometimes. Okay. Tell the people where they can find your stuff, mate.
Man, go sub to the A.C.E Podcast YouTube channel. That's what I want y'all to do. That's what I want the people to do. That's all I got to say.
What a gentleman. Follow Andrew Thompson. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. The links to which are all below. Get that shit done. He recently hit 400 subscribers. He is flying through the subscribers these days. He is unbelievable. Some great wrestling content there. Some great wrestling roundups every week. I urge you to follow him because he is a good man and an even better writer. That's it. Subscribe.
That's it.
And we'll be back next week, mate.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Until next week, laters.